Yo, what's going on, everybody? How y'all doing? Thank y'all for tuning in to another episode to the D. Elliott live stream. Today, we have another video for you. We can say it's along the line of semen retention. It's talking about the harmful effects of sexual fantasies on the body and the mind. Yes, and this was going to come from, what is it called? Teachings of the Wise. So go over to the channel, check them out. We're going to go ahead and watch this video. I haven't seen the whole thing before, so we're going to go through it, listen to it, and understand some of the teachings of what's going to come through this video and get a better understanding of the fantasies and even just the thoughts of nastiness or dirty thoughts that linger your brain that will have a harmful effect on your journey of semen retention. Because like one wise man said, you got to be on your journey because the future of the nations is for the chaste. You know what I mean? I think he's right. I forget his name, but I did it on a few videos back. And, oh, okay. Hit the like button while you're at it because, yeah, something just... Yes, sir. Hit that like button. If you do a thumbs up. I didn't know a thumbs up was up. I knew this was one of them. Is it? Yeah, you see that there? I knew this was one of them. Yeah, you see that there? But anyhow, like I was saying, yeah, so while you're on your journey or whatever, you know, you need to stay grounded and understand that there's pitfalls that come along the way, but you need to be fully knowledgeable and understand everything that you need to do. Because I had made on a few videos previously where a guy had stated that the future of the nations are for the chaste. And understanding that, you know, the act of sexual pleasures or sexual indulgence should only be used for procreation. I mean, even your man Elon Musk even stated that in one of his interviews that he had done. He even stated that, and we see how successful he's become. Sheesh. Even Jeff Bezos even went along this same journey as well. I mean, it's nothing new under the sun. It's well known. It's been documented. You can go through all religious texts, all historical texts. I mean, even financial text. You know, it's there. You just got to pay attention to it, understand it. And it's not just retention. It's more that goes into it than that. But you got to retain the seed. So yeah, so getting into this video, and while you're here, hit the like button once again. But we're gonna go ahead and get into this video and get a good understanding of the pitfalls and the harmful effects that it has on our body. So let's not waste much more time and let's just go ahead and get right into it. Alrighty, here we are. Let's go.
In a society saturated with sexualized
headphone
media,
gang.
constantly bombarding us from the moment we awaken to the time we retire for the night, we need to realize how it actually affects our body and how it ruins our reality. So in this video, we present to you the teachings imparted by two venerable masters.
Sorry if I just blasted your heads out of the speakers. My apologies. But yeah, let's keep going.
Part 1 are the teachings of Torkom Saraydarian, who spent his entire life seeking answers to his questions about the mystery of man and the universe. He explains to us in detail the adverse impact of sexual fantasies to an individual's energetic centers, ultimately leading to destructive repercussions for.
And these are just fantasies. He's not talking about the act. He's talking about the thoughts. The detriments that it has on your thoughts. Or the detriment that the thoughts have on your reality. Context of sexual fantasy. Well, this is part 1, so he's basically breaking it down, and these are the chapters. But the consequences it has on your energetic, your physical, other people, and just the value. So yeah, let's keep going.
The body. Part 2 are the teachings of Dhananjay, a devoted spiritual guru who has dedicated his life to the pursuit of enlightenment. He guides us through an exploration of the various states in which our life force dissipates during arousal, illuminating the profound ways of how sexual fantasies impact our work and ability to maintain focus.
So there's 3 parts to understanding the sexual function. You know, there's the non-aroused state, which is normal, the gross state, which is when you're aroused, and then you have the ojas or ojas state, radiance, the supernormal flow of prana or life force. And I'm gonna call that phase the Super Saiyan phase, like when you're radiating, like you feel like Goku or Vegeta when you're radiating, when you're just sitting there glowing, when you're all yellow or blue or red or whatever level of Super Saiyan that you hit. That's what I'm gonna think the Oha state is, because it's radiance. But let's keep going.
If you stick around with us until the end and learn the teachings of these two masters, we assure you that you will think twice before you entertain sexual thoughts in your mind.
Let's go.
Sexual fantasies are incorrect notions and misinformation about sex that can lead a person to act incorrectly. Illusions are distortions of the truth that enter the mind and exert control. Incorrect mental imagery and the formation of thoughts about sex create illusions that manipulate one's sexual behavior. When a person's mind is pure and free from illusions, sexual energy can flow through it and provide energy in line with genuine needs and intentions. This kind of individual acts in accordance with their higher nature. However, if illusions persist in the mind, sexual energy becomes distorted and misused. Creative energy flows downward from the head center and is distributed to the 7 centers or chakras in your body. This energy...
Hey, if you look at what they're talking about, remember the last video that I did, or the previous video, spoke about understanding the Christ oil and how it starts from the top and it goes all the way down to the sacrum. And then you have to, be in alignment during that time, but also with diet and exercise and mindful prayer and meditation, how you bring it back up. He's not saying that, but it's the same context. Pay attention. He's not exactly saying that. He's not speaking about the Christ oil, but he is speaking about the seed. He is speaking about the semen and how it works and where it starts and then where it goes. And then he's probably going to talk about how you bring it back up, but let's keep going.
Energy fuels the centers to perform their functions. However, if this energy is distorted by sexual fantasies, it is not distributed in the correct proportion, preventing the centers from carrying out their regular activities. For example, the sex center may become clouded by many thought forms. Consider a 14-year-old boy who reads a pornographic book. The boy looks at all the naked girls and sexual pictures and begins to make images in his mind. Those images stay in his mind, and when creative energy is brought through his mind for distribution, those images control the use and function of the energy. Those images will channel the creative energy to the sex center instead of higher centers. When creative energy is associated with sexual imagery in the mind, it stimulates the sex center due to the similarity in frequency. This,
as a perfect understanding, is why it says you need to be in alignment. Because if you're not in alignment, it ain't gonna work. And your alignments have to start with your thoughts, words, actions. That's how it works. It starts with the thoughts. Thoughts become words, words become actions, actions become your habits become your destiny, your character, who you are. So this is a good image. This is an excellent image. This is a fantastic depiction of how your thoughts will simply destroy the seed within itself. That's fantastic. Let's keep going.
results in an overwhelming amount of energy, far exceeding what the sex center is supposed to receive. For example, if the sex center was only supposed to receive 20 pounds of energy, it is flooded with 500 pounds of energy, causing the loss of control over that center. When you lose control of your sex center or any other center due to flooding, two things happen. First, the center stops functioning. It becomes paralyzed like a carburetor flooded with gas. When it is flooded, the exchange of positive and negative energies that put creative energy into circulation is distorted in that center. This is why people who were very active sexually sometimes suddenly become inhibited, afraid of sex, and withdrawn. The second thing that happens to a flooded sex center is that it leaks energy into the organs and eventually cracks. This causes the person to engage in excessive sex. Excessive sex drains the energy from the sex center and from the other centers as well.
Whew. Physical consequences.
The throat center, which is connected to the sex center, will lose energy. This results in changes in the person's voice, leading to weakness or hoarseness. Consequently, their creative imagination, ability to visualize, and mental powers suffer, as their normal source of energy is depleted by the sex center. Using the energy from other centers for excessive sexual activities is like writing numerous checks without having sufficient funds in the bank to cover them. You are literally bankrupting yourself. Once the throat center has been drained, energy departs from the heart center, followed by the solar plexus, and eventually the head center. The depletion of the head center can lead to severe illnesses.
What?
The base of the spine center is connected to the kidneys. When excessive sexual activity causes energy leakage from this center, it weakens the kidneys.
What?
The effects of drained centers surface at different times for different people, depending on many factors. One factor is the capacity of the cells and organs to continue functioning. Another factor is how strong and pure the cells and organs were to begin with. If you are very healthy and have lived a good life up to the point of becoming sexually drained, your organs take longer to show signs of decay.
Golly. You got delayed gratification, but then in this case, you have delayed decay. That's crazy. That is wild. But it makes sense. It makes perfect sense because if you look at the society, I keep saying it's hedonistic. And of course, you're given the choice to kill yourself. And if you don't understand this on what they're showing right here, on the illnesses and all this mental illness that people have going on, like, don't get me wrong, there might be some people out there that are actually literally mentally ill, but these self-diagnosed mentally ill people, or these people who get diagnosed mentally ill by what is it? Your therapist, understand that they have to diagnose you if you're paying with insurance. You got to get diagnosed. That's how it works. You have to be diagnosed with something if you're paying with insurance. So if you're running around here with these diagnoses, or if you have a mental illness, but not understanding that you'd be surprised, or a lot of people use sex as a vice. People use sex to cure anxiety, if they don't like how they feel, if they're having a bad day. People use sex just like an alcoholic uses liquor, just like a weed smoker uses weed. People use sex the same way. It's no different. It's no different. It's the same thing. So, whatever illness you have, you don't even realize every time you have sex, you think that you're feeling better because, of the act. It feels great. And you're releasing and all this energy, all this stuff is flowing, but you're literally destroying yourself. You're destroying yourself and don't even know it. And with the society we live in, which is clearly a satanic world, there's no way around it. Just they work completely opposite of natural law. This makes perfect sense. Like, you would be a fool not to see the connection. Let's continue.
Sexual imagination and the reception of sexual thoughts from other people are two ways of polluting our auras. If many men are thinking about a woman and creating powerful sexual thought forms about her, those thought forms go and attach themselves to her aura and begin to influence her life. Slowly, she can be forced to act according to those thought forms. A woman can even become a prostitute as a result of the influence of men's sexual thought forms about her. It is best not to think sexually about other people, as it can create forms in their auras that really hurt them. Because of the images of television, movies, magazines, and advertisements, people are constantly bombarded with sexual thought forms and desires. These thought forms are very difficult to resist.
This just clearly solidified the mental case I was talking about. And social media does not make it any better, because people look at social media and they predicate everything off of social media. They justify their life. They see them, and people fake it in social media just to gain more attention, dopamine hits, and all this. It's oh my goodness. Let's keep going.
When the sexual thought forms of other people mix with your own sexual imagination, your sex center may become obsessed. The sex center becomes obsessed through imagination and thought, sexually stimulating reading, and low-level sexual intercourse, that the door is opened for impressions and thought forms of other people. When your sex center is obsessed with thought forms of other people, it eventually cut its relation with you, the director.
Wow.
It becomes independent and can attract disembodied entities, living in etheric planes, waiting for the opportunity to enter someone's sex center and thereby gain a vehicle for experiencing sex.
Succubus, basically a demon. He's speaking on demons right here. Sexual energy causing demons. Exactly what that is. These are demons kicking your ass. Mental illness is the demon kicking your ass. The sexual thoughts that are lingering, it's a vice kicking your ass. It's a demon kicking your ass. Alcoholic, demon kicking your ass. It's all it is. It's just spiritual demons. Just call it what it is. It's a spiritual warfare that we're dealing with. They have all different kind of names and diseases for it, but just call it what it is. Because they used to use fasting back in the day to cast out demons out of people. They used to make people fast, lock them in a room or something, a closet, don't feed them, don't give them anything, and allow that demon to be released out of their body via fasting. Now, couldn't we say this demon right here that we're looking at could be released if you vow to celibacy? Sexual fasting, basically, same concept. It's a spiritual warfare, man. You cannot deny it.
Then, obsession turns into possession. You slowly become sexually possessed.
Yeah, that
We
makes
sometimes
sense.
are slowed down or become crystallized because people project to us certain thoughts. For example, sexual thoughts, hateful thoughts, evil thoughts, or criminal thoughts. When these thoughts are projected into our aura, we feel as though we are swimming in a stagnated pool. I once knew a very beautiful and fiery girl who was studying and doing meditation. She told me she had decided to become a model, and soon after she posed for nude photographs which appeared in a men's magazine. 3 months later, she put away all her books and stopped meditating. One night she called me crying, "I don't want to read anymore. What is wrong with me?" Millions of men were looking at her pictures and directing their sexual energies toward her. She was flooded with their desires, and even though she kept herself physically pure, she was being polluted mentally.
And on another case, a lot of people may not realize this or believe this, but speaking on the topic sex, when you see like a lot of these high-powered men are having sex with all the women, or women are only choosing these extremely high-powered, successful men because they have what it is that they want or whatever. But you understand, some of these men, these high-powered men, the demons, sold their soul to get to where they are, and you're out here you're in their target range. That now they targeted you. It's like, you want success. Is this what you want? Success in all this lavish lifestyle. You want the boat trips, the luxurious restaurants, and you think you found this great, amazing guy, but you don't know he's a handsome demon. Same thing can go with a woman. It's kind of like what this girl is dealing with the story you just gave. She wanted to become a model, put away the reading, stop meditating, or the reading stopped because she stopped meditating, and now she doesn't realize that she's in a spiritual battle, and that meditation was helping her. It was actually protecting her. Slowly she got weaned off of it, and whatever she was reading was also helping, I'm assuming, in my opinion. And then she stepped right into a spiritual warfare with demons. Let's continue.
I've seen many people who were sexually possessed. They told me, "We can't help ourselves. We can't stop having sex.
Whoa.
We want to kill ourselves."
Oh,
It is
wow.
very difficult to remove an entity from a sex center once it has possessed that center. The best way to prevent such possession is to keep your mind as clean as possible and to avoid creating ties with the wrong people. For example, if you do not want pollution or thought forms of others to follow you, do not touch their hands, hug, or kiss them. Do not drink from the same cup as they do. Such contacts immediately establish a magnetic link through which their thought forms flow to you. When individuals experience nocturnal orgasms, it is either due to the intensity of their sexual fantasies or because someone else is visualizing engaging in sexual activity with them.
Oh,
If
wow.
someone is excessively involved in sexual activities, I advise them to participate in activities such as running, swimming, painting, or engaging in other creative endeavors.
Exercise. Go exercise. And of course, in today's world, exercise has been sexualized. And what he just spoke on is saying exercise to get rid of, the sexual craving. But then they turned around and sexualized exercise. These leggings, these short shorts. I mean, boy, they good. They are good at what they do, boy. Evil is kicking ass. But if you know it and you can see it, then you can understand how to prepare and how to deflect and how to defend yourself, protect yourself. Man, this is great. Continue.
These activities help to release and balance sexual energy and prevent congestion. Movies, television, newspapers, and other publications make your mind such a sewer that you cannot control it anymore. If you become purified from outside stimulation, you become more natural in your attitude towards sex. You will use sexual energy for the betterment and the sublimation of your body, mind, and emotions, and for creating children under the right conditions. Sex used for other purposes will hurt you or stop you on the path of your evolution.
Yeah. Man, this is good. I like this.
Sex energy is a very valuable energy because it proceeds to become vitality, sensitivity in the brain cells, and impressionability in the aura, creativity in the mind, magnetism and healing radiation in the centers. Through it, we provide the materials or substance to build our higher vehicles on individual and global scales. For this reason, it should not be wasted, but should be used for procreative purposes and to create beauty, transmutation, and bliss. When wasted in massive quantities by nations or large groups of human beings, the entire mechanism of human beings or nations cannot respond to creative energies but rather distorts them, causing imbalance which invites destruction.
Huh.
Many nations and groups have been destroyed in this way. People
Because the future of nations is for the chase, like that one guy said, and it makes perfect sense. It lines up with exactly with what he said in that previous video that I had made. Not the last one, but the one I had made some time ago. And that lines up perfectly.
sometimes think that the source of energy is inexhaustible. This is true if you are at a stage in which you do not use the energy for any personal pleasure and satisfaction, but use it only to further the divine purpose. Below this level, your quota of energy is limited. This accounts for the fact that when people feel a lack of sexual energy, they consume more food and use more alcohol or other stimulants to fill the vacuum. Normal or unaroused state, the vital energy is spread over the entire body, in blood, bones, muscle, nerves, giving us energy to indulge in various day-to-day activities. Pranic energy in this state is integral with the entire body in a state of harmony and union. The body is fully geared and the life force is available to perform action efficiently. Based on the kind of activity we indulge in, life force flows to that particular part to perform the action. For example, when an athlete gears up to run a marathon, his life force focuses into his leg muscles. When a boxer is in the ring, his life force centers around his arm muscles. When a chess player in midst of a game, his life force is concentrated in his brain and so on.
Interesting.
When man is under sexual excitement, his life force or prana is withdrawn from every part of the body and focused into the sex center. Life energy, which was earlier in a subtle state of amalgamation with his entire being in the normal state, separates from those regions to a large extent and flows to his sex center. Man is now fully geared up to engage in the sex act. Almost all his vital energy, except the basic energy required for his vital organs to function, has now come down to the sex center. Energy is in a state of wait to propel semen out of his system. Note how sexually aggressive a person becomes when he is fully aroused in the sex plane. This is further to all his prana being in a state of sexual focus. In this state, man cannot efficiently indulge in any other activity other than the sexual act.
Zoned in.
Ask a fully aroused man to play a game of chess. He might not even remember the movements. Semen in this state is the linear gross representation of his prana, or vital energy, in liquid form. Energy, which was earlier in electricity-like form, has now become physical, embodied in liquid semen. In a man who constantly resides in the sex plane, his prana is mostly in this gross semen form. This is the reason such people cannot effectively carry out any other form of work. The nature of gross semen is expellation. This is called the ejaculatory mode. It cannot perform any other function in this state. Once
And if they keep you in this state of mind of constantly thinking of sex, right? What he's saying is you can't get any work done because you can't focus. It just lowers your ambition. It completely lowers your ambition. You're not ambitious anymore to achieve anything greater. And then you can even take it a step further. If it does, because the society we live in is so hedonistic that if what he's saying, according to how he was saying, the constant use of the sexual energy will make it hard for you to focus on work. You can't focus on work, it lowers your ambition. What then can you move in to make it seem like the correct answer? Communism. Good Lord, that is a fantastic take. Let's keep going.
in the ejaculatory mode, semen can never be fully reconverted back to pranic energy. The sexual glands have already secreted various physical secretions to manufacture gross semen. All these processes are not fully reversible even through transmutation and meditation. There are severe limitations. A considerable volume of vital energy will flow out, immaterial of meditation or celibacy, once it has reached this final gross form due to sexual fantasies. When a person leads a life of true celibacy, conserving all his vital energy and transcending it from its normal state to a highly concentrated, very subtle state through techniques such as meditation, asana, and pranayama, his prana becomes very subtle in nature. Its intensity increases to a great extent. It is akin to gross water being heated and converted to superheated gaseous steam in a distillation plant. Vital energy now has enormous potential energy. It rises up like steam does and reaches his ajna chakra, or the point between his eyebrows. This is called ojas state. We must remember that ojas represents our radiant life force. The full power of this state is said to come to a brahmachari on reaching 12 years of true celibacy, without wastage of even a single drop of semen.
Wow.
His pranic energy is now totally sublimated. It gives him the ability to enter the metaphysical world or astral planes.
I could be wrong when I say that. No, I'm not going to say it. But 12 years of celibacy? Sheesh. That's a long time. 12 years. Let's keep going.
He can receive astral visions, knowledge of creation, God, and so on. Advanced Urdhvarita yogis get powers such as knowledge of the past, present, and future. Celibates should understand what exactly sublimation or transmutation is all about. Pranayama meditation in reality is not conversion of gross semen into ojas. It is conversion of subtle, normal prana into ojas by preventing the formation of gross semen. If you continuously indulge in sexual activity that brings down prana from its normal state to a lower gross or semen state, sublimation becomes difficult. It must again be brought back to its normal state and then taken to the very subtle or ojas state. At the start of celibacy, when man shuns sex stimuli, his prana or vital energy comfortably rests in the normal or subtle state. Earlier, it was being brought down to form semen. Now that need has been removed.
Huh.
The body stops production of earlier quantities of semen. Initial stages of celibacy do not really involve reabsorption. Most volume of semen in gross form at the start of celibacy actually flows out. It is actually due to the lack of further production of semen that energy levels of an individual increases. This is why celibacy needs to be practiced for more than 3 months in order for it to be effective. During this period, the body is not actually reabsorbing, but rather in a state of non-production and harmonization of existing prana at a subtle level. Additionally, the production of semen decreases, while the formation of prana increases, as long as celibacy is true and genuinely practiced.
So it's basically along the same context of like when they say it takes, what is it, 90 days for a habit? It takes like 90 days for something to become a habit. I think it's 90 days. I could be wrong, but how it's saying here, like celibacy doesn't really truly take effect until 90 days because it's trying to recalibrate the body to understand like, oh, we're not doing this no more. We're actually moving in a correct way. Like our body isn't no longer out here giving up its vital force, no longer the prawn or no longer anything negative. We're not taking that energy force away from us no more. We're actually moving correctly in alignment and not destroying any of our chakras along the way. So that actually lines up. That checks out.
When we say sublimation of semen into higher forms, it is really sublimation of prana in our normal state into ojas state. For prana to reach normal state, man should desist from sexual excitement, thereby prevent the formation of gross or semen state. In an Urdhvarita yogi, this is fully achieved. His body does not produce gross semen at all. The vital energy required to sustain his body and intellect are fed from that part of his prana. The rest is fully converted to ojas or radiance, glory and freedom from the suffering of the world.
All right, that was a good video. Thank you to Teachings of the Wise. That right there gave you a good understanding on how things work. It gave me a good understanding. I don't know about you, but it gave me a good understanding, and it put a lot of stuff into context. Understanding the power of getting rid of your vices, like I always preach in my fitness coaching programs. You just get rid of your vices and be in alignment. You got to start up here. It starts here. Your alignment has to come from your thoughts. You cannot allow your thoughts to hinder, because then your thoughts can, within itself, your thoughts can knock off your alignment process. It can burn away at one of the lower chakras before you can move up to your higher level, your higher conscious of thinking, your higher conscious of being. That was very, very interesting, very powerful. I really enjoyed that. Just the power of semen retention, to understand all the process it carries over. And it's not just semen retention. No alcohol, no weed, no smoking anything, no drinking anything, no watching just anything. Like being in fully alignment and actually practicing prayer, meditation, and constantly, having a good exercise and a good diet regimen. You got to compile and put all this together, and you consistently keep doing it and stay focused. And then you need to have a path of what it is that you're trying to achieve, what it is that you're trying to do. so you can see the fruits of your labor and growth happen along the way. Because you don't want to just do this and not have a plan of progressing and making your life any better, because it's mind, body, and spirit. And also, you want to add finances in there too as well. That's just my opinion. So hopefully this got to somebody. Hopefully this helps somebody. Click the like button. Does it do the like thing? Are we gonna get that like? Let's see. Yes, sir. Hit that button right there. Hit the like button. Give me a thumbs up or a thumbs down, whichever way. Comments. Tell me what you like, didn't like. Let me know. Give me some feedback. But for sure, hit the like button. Let this get out to more people, because right now, more than ever, more people need to hear this, because you're looking for an external problem for an internal issue. So with that being said, thank you for tuning in. Just dropped a new workout video yesterday. So go ahead and check that out. And it's a home workout video on the YouTube channel. Go check that out. Click the links down in the description box below to log on to my website, wealthandwellness.co, for all of your wealth and wellness needs that you may need. It's very interesting stuff that you may want to get on there to help you out along the way on your journey. Cleanliness is next to godliness. And also, excuse me, log on to my website, dlafitness.net, where you can access my coaching and mindset program to get you on your fitness journey, where you can get a diet plan, dial in your macros and everything else. And also, we're going to have a guide and an ebook coming at you real soon, to kind of give you an understanding to have the forge and correct the mindset to have a good discipline. But otherwise than that, we'll see you next time. Thank you for tuning in. Hit the like button, and we out of here. Peace.